This week in Worldwide Gaming.
John reviews Banished. We take a look at the top 10 simulation games. An E3 interview with the developers of Assassin's Creed Unity. And a WG 101 on Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare. Hello and welcome to Worldwide Gaming. I'm your host Ryan.
I'm Vince.
And I'm John.
And today we're winding the clock back a bit to E3 2014. And John, you're interviewing the guys from Assassin's Creed Unity.
I am, and it's absolutely fantastic. Last time I talked about how I wasn't sure whether the French Revolution would be good because it was just a bunch of rich people getting their heads cut off. But apparently there's like all of this stuff that actually happened beyond that. And it's looking like it's going to be a really, really cool game. I'm really
excited for the co-op because it hasn't really been in any other one. And I don't know, I'm a big fan of co-op games, and that I feel like that franchise would be perfect, like setting up all these like assassinations.
You like stabbing people with friends?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Right now though, we're going straight to the forecast.
Zombies seem to still be in season for the upcoming release of H1Z1, coming to PC and PS4. We gave it a 3. Upcoming MMO FPS PlanetSide 2 isn't looking too bad. We've given it a 1. The game is set for release on PS4.
With heavy losses on both sides, the Vanu managed to push towards victory. This battle on Indar may be over, but the battlefields of Amarish have just begun. New conglomerate forces attacking the Terran Republic's front line.
The classic character is back in the Mad Max game, coming to PC, current, and last-gen consoles in 2015. We're thinking it's going to be pretty good, with the barometer reading 2.
Hope is dead. Glory is lost. Consumed by everything that surrounds us. Now these streets are paved towards nowhere.
Won't somebody tell me an answer if...
So Vince, you're kind of like the survival games guy. What is it about H1Z1 that excites you the most?
Well, I'm a massive DayZ fan, and kind of going to this game is somewhat blasphemy, but this game is actually progressing, which is a little bit unfortunate. But it's got the DayZ feel, but like I said, it's just getting there a lot quicker.
Yeah, John, do you have any thoughts about like the genre or anything?
For me, it's just yet another way to kill zombies. And I mean, me personally, killing zombies is fun, but I've always been more like the Nazi killing kind of a guy. Like, that's why I like Wolfenstein. I'm such a huge fan of that. And for me, H1Z1 looks just like another 1001 ways to kill a zombie.
Yeah, zombies.
Yeah. Also, Mad Max. No?
Nah.
Why not?
It doesn't interest me at all. It looks so boring.
Mad Max is awesome. I'm actually really looking forward to that.
All right, but now though, we have John's review of Banished.
Banished, a city-building strategy game that takes SimCity's play, laugh, grow aspect and turns it into a much more sinister build, survive, sustain. Banished is set in a time where there is no mass production. You start from the bottom with as little as a barn and some materials to get you started. Your choice of difficulty mode may land you with some extra gear to get started with, but the situation is usually pretty scarce. The idea of the game is to build gradually so you can sustain yourself. To do so, you need jobs, facilities, and food sources to keep everyone busy and productive, even the small children. What the game features is quite minimalistic in terms of a city building game, but that's what makes it good. It's difficult, but not unfair. You have the standard array of abilities you'd expect of an overbearing god, such as adding infrastructure, housing, and crop fields to maintain your growth and continued survival. You can also speed and slow the passage of time, which is nothing new, but balancing the jobs for different seasons is an interesting task. In winter you need more firewood and food, while spring and summer are an ideal time to collect resources and build more infrastructure. The way the job system works in Banished is very logical. For example, if you need labourers to get resources and you need tools to get resources quicker, the best action would be to build a blacksmith. Things like this make it seem like there's a lot of attention to detail in the game, and it gives you the illusion of a living, breathing society. Even though it is an automated system, you feel more involved as a player rather than watching the small village slowly crumble in on itself. The difficulty of the game is quite intense, but once you start rolling and have conjured up ways that will abolish your ever ongoing food crisis, then the game starts to seem a lot more fair. Banished is very much about having tactics in place before you even start establishing your village. For example, making sure you've built minimal housing, which is a good way to get food, and then stockpiling required resources. Banished is extremely rewarding in this sense. If you haven't starved your village to death in the first few years, it's quite satisfying, as most of the time it feels like something could definitely go wrong, and it can in terms of disasters. But there's an ever-present feeling that something is going to turn upside down on itself. The one thing that games like SimCity and Civilization did right, which I feel Banished could definitely benefit from, is the ability for civilizations to collide. Whether it be a peaceful encounter or waging war, Banished feels lacking in this sense and a little too solitary. Aesthetically, the game looks and feels really good, which is impressive as the game comes in at around 200 megabytes on Steam. While it doesn't feature the greatest set of animations, and there is some clipping as villagers walk through objects, it's not really immersion breaking, as you're always trying to maintain something, so you're not focusing on these discrepancies. These complaints are just nitpicking though, as the game has no real downfalls, although some players might find its difficulty a deterrent. City building hasn't been this challenging in quite a while. A lot of what's here isn't new by any means, but Banished really makes you think and strategize, urging you to give it another go when you almost invariably end up with a ghost town.
Hey guys, enjoying the show? Check us out on Facebook for a whole bunch of funnies, gaming news, and photos from behind the scenes. YouTube for all of our past episodes, plus extended scenes and bloopers. And our podcast on iTunes.